For those that are wondering, this is the hda120 carburetor. It's not the 87. So that screw right there was a little bit loose. That was a little bit stuck. Reed valves aren't bad. There's a little bit of dirt in there, but nothing more than the usual. I don't like that these screws here are this loose. Makes me think that it's just been on there so long that everything, all the gaskets and stuff have shrunk a little bit, maybe causing a little bit of a leak. Metering diaphragm is holding a good vacuum. It's got a lot of dirt and it's definitely deformed. Got a little bit of clicking going on. So, it could probably use a kit. I don't think it needs an ultrasonic though, to be honest with you. It's not that dirty. I do want to count the jets though. Let's see. Low jet. I am looking at low jet, half, about 7/8. Put that back where it was. High jet, about 3/4 to 7/8 is the low jet. So high jet. Half, 1 1/8. Well, let's go ahead and clean this thing completely up. Put a kit in it. Before we go any further. Let's see, the metering diaphragm line, the reed valve diaphragm lines up perfectly. The metering diaphragm lines up perfectly. The reed valve gasket lines up perfectly. And the metering diaphragm gasket lines up perfectly. Pull out the fuel filter screen, 9/32 drill bit, push that back in. I honestly don't feel the need to change it, but I'm gonna do it just so y'all can see how it's done on this particular carburetor. We're gonna change out the main jet, so let's pull that screw with your finger on it, let it up so that the spring comes out. We'll go ahead and change the... Okay, camera stopped on me. Hopefully you guys saw I put that screen in on this side. That was the 9/32 drill bit to help, the back of a drill bit to help face it down. Put the original spring back in. I don't like the replacement springs that come with these kits. New needle on this fork right here. Try to hold it in place like that. What I'm trying to do is capture the dimple that's sticking down from this metal arm. Trying to catch that on this the other side of this spring. That's what holds that spring in place. And if you can do it without talking about it, it actually helps. Alright, so get that spring in place. Alright, so I'm going to hold that just like that and drop it down in there. Use my finger to hold all that down while I put the screw back in. Don't let go of this finger. Stuff will come flying out. Snug that up pretty good. You don't want that coming loose. Verify that the needle works, the lever works. When you put a straight edge across the carburetor body, it should just touch the top of that needle. That's how it determines how much fuel it gets every time it dumps the fuel into the jet, into the carburetor body. If you wanted to, you could pop this out. Use a needle, and you could put a new one of these. I'm drawing a blank on the name. I'll try to think of it and put it in the title, or put it in the description. Anyway, then just set the Welch plug. So you can pull this Welch plug out, clean the jets underneath it, put a new one on, and then hammer it flat. And then when you hammer it flat, it'll expand and stop it in there. Ideally, I saw all of the jets went clear, so I don't think that I've got any kind of problem there. So this side of the carburetor is done. Let's go ahead and put that side together. So for this side, line the gasket up. Gasket goes first, metering diaphragm goes second. That on, 4 screws that hold it. Okay, the revalve goes on. Line up your alignment pins. If you notice these 2 reed valves here, this one here and this one here, there's a hole directly below them. that's the vacuum and passage ports, so it allows air, fuel through them, and then when it pulls the other direction, it seals it off. So just make sure those are on there the right direction. So this is your fuel pump right here. This large opening here, that's your fuel pump. And when you put this gasket on, it should allow for the reed valves to be completely clear. So if I had that backwards, obviously those wouldn't have been clear. So this has alignment pins on it, and then the fuel pump area right there lines up that way. So high jet, there are two different size threads, so on this carburetor. So just put it in finger tight until it bottoms out. If you drive it in there too hard, it's going to break the end off. Again, drive these in here. They just touch the bottom. Just like that. So high jet was 1 1/8, right? So that would be the 1/8 right there. Half 1. And just the way that it lines up. Usually I go half, then 1, then 1 1/8. Anyway. So, and then this one was 3/4 to 7/8, right? So this would be half. It should be 1 full turn. Let's tighten it up just a little bit. Hopefully we get to open this up a little bit more. I like to see about 1 turn out. This is not a modified chainsaw, so it shouldn't need a whole lot of extra juice. So generally 1 turn out on the low jet and 1 1/8 on the high jet is a good starting spot for a lot of them.